Hey, what's going on, guys? Fate here, and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm bringing you guys SDL Season 3 lower tier power rankings with Ekkonomical, FrostyGMSM, and GCS. So go ahead and introduce you guys.
What's up, Mecca?
Hello, hello, hello. Did we get everything? Everybody said anything? I think so, right?
I think so.
I think we're good.
All right.
All right, yeah. Take it away, guys.
All right. So at number 16 place, we're gonna have Blaze's team. I mean,
I think
sorry, man, but someone had to be 16th. You know.
When you have
I think
Trick Room
we
and you're
also kind of I think we kind of should mention that we all made a separate list and we just mashed them together. This is like the what's the proper word for this? The mismatched version, final version. All right. So yeah, continue. My bad.
Okay. When you have a Trick Room team and your only Trick Room setter is really Hatterene, nothing good is gonna happen.
Just like I mean, like he pretty much stated it perfectly. Like,
And then you
almost
grab
the-
Raichu Alola at the end. I mean,
it's like the team's just like it doesn't like synergize with itself, and the main strategy you're kind of trying to go for is like you can't set it up consistently at all. Like Hatterene and Gourgeist might be able to Trick Room like once each, but you're not getting it off every time. And
yeah, and since you can't get it off, this team's just way too slow.
yeah, and even some of like your more threatening Pokemon like Raichu Alola has some pretty solid coverage, but it's not functioning in Trick Room. When you're going for Trick Room, you kind of like want to go all in on the strat. You don't want to half-ass it. You kind of want to go all in on it.
You may want to have like one Fastmon to set it at the very beginning, but like
just as like just as a safety net, you know. But this is a little too non-committal in my opinion. You have any thoughts on it, GCS or?
Yeah. So first off, when you started off your core with Hatterene, Copraj, I was like, all right, gonna be a strong Trick Roomy team. Just like the guys covered, there's a severe lack of Trick Roomy setters. You've just Gourgeist and Hatterene itself, so not optimal. Like you have a very strong mons, and I think Gourgeist is very slept on thread, and Yamega is absolutely busted. But I think this team definitely lacks the synergy and the speed to wrap the battles up the way you kind of want to. But yeah, since the speed control is lacking, it's just the bottom team for me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, having like 4 of your Mons weak to rocks and having like what only 2 ways to get rid of rocks, just in my opinion, isn't really good.
When you're playing fast, it shows a little bit less, but it's still it's still not something that helps the team, you know.
It's not.
But like to summarize, like it's too slow, like stick room. But like the positives are, the mons you actually have are super strong and really tough to play around if you just position them properly. So you don't necessarily need trick room to pull off slower mons, but like it would be much more ideal for you. So
Yeah.
if you have any transactions left, I would definitely try to focus on either getting trick room or a more overall balanced speed tier. And I think, I don't know if I'm kind of cutting you guys off, but like it's not cool to bash on the team for so long, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah,
So
I
should
agree.
probably just move on.
Just try to focus more on Trick Room. Could work out in the end. All right, on to Dillan's team, number 15. I mean, it looked like the type synergy is there. It's got a lot of offense going, but it just falls apart past that. You know, like for like the biggest problem in my opinion is special attackers just what do you do when a strong special attacker comes in? You're not switching in anything. Your best special pivot is electric. So everything else is dying. But
this team's gonna have to sack Mons to get into a spec.
Yeah. You have like so many pivots to like get it. You have so many pivots to get in, but like
the only thing that's like you guys shouldn't underestimate Spadef mill tanking. assault vest, Druddy gun, and stuff. He does have some options in there. Personally, the problem that I have with this team is that I don't really see many scary mons, and I feel like you're kind of relying on Intellion to carry your team in terms of revenging or even like fast threatening offense, because after Intellion your fastest mon is Miltank. And I don't know about you, but Miltank usually doesn't like offensively pressure teams much. So the pressure you apply with this team is just very inconsistent, and I feel like that's gonna hurt you in the long run because your walls also aren't too reliable. But that's my take on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's like
I mean-
something I really do like about this team. I'm glad someone grabbed Bennett Mega. That's really cool. I'm not so sure about it on this exact team.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many super strong threats, like Mega Bennett, even like Grand Bull and Cineroar. They're like huge, like and Drudagon. They're such huge breakers, but like they're all so slow, and like having like a few slow, huge breakers is great. But when your entire team is like 5 slow breakers and Intellion, you're gonna struggle to get the KOs you need.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mostly it. I feel that's just like there's like a very, very defined weakness to me.
I see a lot of scarfs on this team.
Yeah. I mean, like, when you have to run scarfs on, like, half the mons just to have, like, competitive speed tiers and, like, slugfest, it's gonna be rough.
I mean, what kind of scarf do you see? I only see Incineroar and Decidueye. I feel like what are you gonna bring Scarf as Cavalier for? Scarf
Yeah,
Dragon
I
also
mean-
kind
Well,
of
yeah, you're not bringing
kinda
Scarf
shit.
Cavalier, but like Scarf Decidueye could be something.
I mean, you
yeah,
just don't
I
wanna be
suppose.
forced into using, like, Scarf on Incineroar
Yeah.
and Decidueye in order to, like, make up for, like, having slow Pokemon across the board. I mean, you touched on the point pretty well, in my opinion, just too slow across the board. I mean, straightforward issues. Wanna move on? Unless you guys got any, final points?
Yeah, no, I think we can definitely move on.
Alright. Keith's team. Team I got 6-0'd by. Uh,
Was
pretty
that
tough.
today?
Yeah, that was today.
Yeah.
It was a rough time. I
I'm
didn't pack
sorry.
a Scarfer that could handle Chestnut. I just didn't expect it.
Mm.
But anyways, ton of it. This was a pretty contentious one because GCS actually thought that it was significantly stronger, but it's, in my opinion, it's just a little too inconsistent. You're trying to like run over the enemy team, and that can be a very powerful strategy that can definitely work. But when like Pokemon like a pilot, like bringing like Piloswine is like a must bring. Like you're pretty much locked on Gardevoir, for Alligator, Swellow, and Piloswine every match, and because like your bottom 3 are so mediocre, in my opinion.
I disagree,
has,
bro.
like-
I feel like the bottom mons are also really good. I feel like this team overall has like every mon is viable, and I can see every mon putting in work. I understand that like you're definitely trying to offensively overwhelm with this team, but I feel like Guard and Feraligatr just carry so hard, and every other mon is really good at something, and everything all these mons do just in general just really work for the team to me. I feel like the problem that people are going to have with this team is that it's super pressuring in all kinds of ways, defensive, offensive, and even pivoting is okay. It's good enough to get it done. So I think this team like is really good and shouldn't be this low.
I think they're definitely like it's a polarizing team by nature, right? Because it's a team that's like so focused on this like one goal, which like I think it's I just really value consistency, and when like this team kind of lacks like the longevity and like switching ability it needs, because you're not like the enemy brings in like a huge threat, and you're not switching in that much to it, in my opinion.
He doesn't need to switch that much though. It's like he's applying the pressure. Just say, come on, bring out a new threat and kind of win that way. That's
Yeah.
how you kind of play this with spike support from Chestnut and stuff.
Mhm.
But
I mean, what do you think, Frosty?
I mean, I find the team also just a little too slow, and Muck as your like grounded poison isn't amazing in my opinion. Again, you have to bring Gardevoir for Alligator. I'm not so sure about Swallow. Piloswine for sure you have to bring. But having to bring like the same 3 Mons every single week is just not great.
Doesn't
You're
every
kind of
team have that though? Like every team has like a strong 3-man core that pretty much always comes, right?
you're gonna have like strong mons in your build, but it's you're so pressured to just like try and set up and sweep that the enemy can try and play around. Like it's much easier to play around and predict it when you're like you know that he's gonna try and set up with like CM on Gardevoir or like DD on for Alligator, and I think you can like the power is definitely there, and I think it definitely has the potential to perform. The mid-tier teams are all actually pretty solid, but it's just it's too predictable to me, you know.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair enough. You know,
Yeah.
it's all opinionated.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, he can definitely bring it.
Yep.
All right.
The
So
one with the best banner in the world.
That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. On to the next team, number 13, Steve. You definitely got a solid what's the word? You've got a lot of bulk. Like there's a Pokemon like Golurk, Pokemon like
Vaporeon.
yeah, Vaporeon,
That's the
Roserade.
first thing I see. It's just like
Yeah. I mean, like it's like things that can like take hits and hit back. You got hazards all across the board. You got huge breakers and Sneasel.
I think Ursaring is a mon that's also slept on. It can do some work.
Yeah, with sticky webs, it's really strong. But
I'm surprised you guys haven't touched on how broken Comfy is in this format. Like this mon can literally sweep Steam on their own. It's not even that hard to pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, it's fast and decently strong and pretty hard to take down. I'd say the main issue with it is just how hazard weak it can be. Like bringing in Sneasel and Ursaring, and like you're forced to run heavy duty boots on so many mons, or else it's going to be a struggle for them to switch around, right? Like Delphox, Rotom-Fan, and Ninjask.
Yeah.
They're pretty much obligated to run heavy duty boots, and if they don't, they're coming in like once or twice a match. And even like Vaporeon, like it has to come into like rocks and spikes and then wish up.
Yeah.
Any other flaws you guys see?
I mean,
Not really. I
Oh.
can name some really good things about this team though.
Yeah.
Like, I think Rotom-Fan and Ninjask are both amazing. I think Ninjask gets defog, right?
Yeah.
Both I think are pretty good for getting rid of hazards. Comfey again will be really, really good on this team. Vaporeon as well. This team's gonna be hard to break.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
hard to
going
break.
It's going to be hard to break, but my main issue with the team is that I feel like it's kind of hard to get in the mons you want to bring in without sacking a lot of health. And the biggest issue I have with this team is that you just dropped one of your best fighting types for Phalanx, and I think Phalanx is absolutely shit. So
What did he drop?
He dropped
Hitmonlee.
Oh, he dropped
Hitmonlee is so good.
Yeah, Hitmonlee can just kind of go off. I think if it had Hitmonlee, it could have been like pretty solid too.
It would have been.
That's so much more immediately threatening, in my opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can get
with extra spin support too, it's nice to have, just in case.
Phalanx can be scary, but Hitmonlee is way more terrifying.
Yeah. Anything else? We got everything done here. Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Number 12, Scoot. I actually like this team a lot. I like the I like how well it abuses entry hazards between like Rotom and Passimian just constantly spamming their switch moves on things. But to me, my main problem is just how like redundant a lot of the picks felt. Like you already have like a great fast cleaner and Aerodactyl, and then you added like Per Ugly and like Yanma.
Yeah, some of those last picks are just little interesting in my opinion.
I think the first three are super threatening. They're
The
Yeah,
first
really
three
nice.
are
Mhm.
even if you have to bring them weekly, those first three are gonna do some work.
yeah, they
Yeah, I
can
feel
like
like
almost carry it for you.
the spike support with Torpedo is really good. So I like that. Felt like Hoopa was kind of random, but like it does what
Hoopa
it does really well. Like it's really
so
strong. Yeah, it is really strong. But
It's good to
it
have
kind of
some of
looks
those.
it kind of looks random on the team though. But then again, the entire team looks kind of random.
Mhm.
Like to me,
yeah,
it
but
looks
I
like
mean, it doesn't look the worst. It looks pretty good.
It has a ton of good stuff going for it too, but it's just
Having
like
a base 130 Mon is really nice.
just the bottom four kind of like bring it down a lot, you know? Like
I don't know. I feel like Gabite's pretty good here, but the other three.
Goodbite's okay for Rocks. Goodbite's okay for Rocks. But
Also,
yeah,
I
I mean,
don't understand the Torkoal option.
Torkoal feels kind of weird other than just like setting up Rocks and maybe going for a spin. It doesn't do a
Yeah.
ton.
what
Um,
I don't like is that the ground type is Gabite. Gabite is good, but like if it's your reliable ground type,
Yeah,
especially
that's
since Scarf Electric types are pretty spammable, considering Aerodactyl is a thing. So
and also another problem is the longevity. Like when you're Rotom-Mow and you're like the things that are gonna be taking the hits, right? It's like Torkoal, Gabite, Rotom-Mow, Klefki. They pretty much have like no longevity at all. And like when you're playing super offensive and fast, it can be fine, but it gives the enemy another like if they can just last long enough to not fall apart to your attack, then that's another out for them.
yeah. I also don't like one thing I really don't like about the team is it doesn't have a grounded poison. So I mean, like toxic spikes are going to be a problem, but he does have like Aerodactyl and Yanma right there. So
And Rotom-Mow too.
bro,
oh yeah,
I
Rotom-Mow.
I just want to see Shell smash Torkoal. Not gonna lie, but
I would if Google
That'd
brings
definitely be funny,
Shell
yeah.
Smash Torkoal 1 week and just sweep, that'd be amazing.
Highlight of the week
right,
right there. All
right.
right. Next team, we got Frosties. I mean, like the top 3 and 4 are like pretty solid, like so good to me. Like in my opinion, like Crobat, Chandelure, Duraludon are really good, but I don't know, just like Dusclops, Munchlax, they feel like such random additions to me, and you're really reliant on Chandelure, Duraludon, and Crobat to get much progress done. You know, like
Oh, I feel like this team is just way too slow for my liking. You're lucky you have Crobat, which is like one of the fastest and one of the best that is at being fast. But like, I don't know if that's enough. I feel like you would be reliant on Scarf, Chandelure, and or Duraludon every week, either or. And I feel like your bottom ones literally just do the same and lose your momentum. They're all like rest dog or very slow and not pressuring defensive mons, and that's the one thing that really kills my vibe on the team. Like it started off really hot, and after that it became almost semi-stally, but like it's too passive for me and not reliable enough to stay consistent. Like it's bulky enough to pull off rest dog sets, but if you're gonna be relying on rest dog rolls, I don't think that's really what you want in your team. But that's that's my take.
it's nice to have like the wish support from Mega Auto now, but like you want like the ability to like strike back and strike back fast, and like when you're only like reasonably fast and decently strong enough threat is like Crobat, because like Dracloak is way too weak to get much done. It can against offense, you're just gonna have such like a tough time because you're taking a hit first every single time, you know. And I mean, like, I agree with GCS. Like, Scarf Chandler just feels so necessary to have like that offensive threat, that fast offensive threat. If you're not running an offensive Crobat too.
Yeah, but no shit, we still like you a lot, Frosty. Like, no
Yeah, we still love you. We still love you. There's still,
Oh, I
still
know
good
I
stuff
made a
on this team.
trash team. I literally just picked these last 4 because they looked cool.
I
was
do look
going
cool.
through
I'll
with
give you that.
another one of my leagues, and I was just like, what should I pick?
I do love the way Trick looks, but yeah, I mean, just the bottom 4, maybe even 5. It just feels like it lets it down a little bit, you know.
It lacks Bidoof, to be honest.
That's true.
It
That's
does
true. I think
lack
you had to
Bidoof.
draft that one. All right.
Mhm.
I'll make it an FA.
Yeah, good choice. All right, on to Pukjes. I don't know.
Pukje.
I don't know how to say this name.
He pronounced it as Pukje.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
This is pretty threatening.
There's a lot. There's some pretty like threatening stuff, like Molt, Sock, Helios. They're all like very, very strong. Even like Bruxious and Flygon, they're pretty threatening.
They're really good.
Any thoughts, GCS?
Yeah, so he started off really strong with Moltres, Flygon, and Heliolisk. I was like, this is going to be one of these very offensively pressuring teams with a lot of Volturn spam going on. But what I think he kind of dropped the bar at, and that's what I personally like really bother about, is that you have a lot of momentum going on, but I feel like you actually do lack the threats that you want to bring in. Like at this point, like the big breakers you have that you bring in is like Sock. That's one of your best physical presence mons. And from your special attacking, it's Moltres, but often that's in a lot of matchup. Like bulky Moltres just does way better than breaking Moltres. So considering you also want to run boots on it over specs a lot of the times, I felt like the team is really reliant on getting every single U-turn play right. And if you basically get one wrong, I feel like you're gonna struggle a bit because your defense is solid, but like it's not solid enough versus like really strong attackers.
It's like, yeah, I mean, he's pretty much right on all the fronts he said. Like Heliolisk and Sock are going to be your like only like really reliable breakers, and you got like good cleaning options and things like Scarf Flygon, like your fast Heliolisk. But things like Vileplume and Aromatisse and Luminia, like they've got good pivoting, or like Luminian's got good pivoting tools, but they can just kind of like let down your momentum so hard, you know.
Yeah, like I still think the team can probably perform really well. It's just to me it feels like a bit too slow. Like you need to play very long games with a lot of you turning and chipping over general time before you can actually win the game and break down the
he has
team.
the bulk to do that though.
He has the bulk to play the longer games, which is why it's like still a pretty functional team at number 10.
Yeah.
But you're like really, really relying on like Heliolisk and Sock to like punch those holes in order to get things done, which can work. But just relying on those two mons, it can play pretty awkward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do love me some Flygon.
Flygon
is amazing.
This is true. Flygon's awesome. All right.
Next team,
Uno. Uno's.
Yeah, I feel like Shaben is just stupid good. Like that was something I really wanted to. So I definitely like that you combined Shaman with Mega Manectric, because Mega Manectric is a really fast, like one of the fast, if not the fastest mon. I think only a few mons are faster. Anyway, Manectric electric type, like really fast, really strong, solid enough coverage to pressure most of the ground types, and the strong ground types it can't beat. Shaman just comes in for free, and you kind of get a lot of momentum that way. He as well. Weezing super good defensive mon. Really like that. But what I didn't like as much is that your steel type is Aggron, and I feel like Aggron is awesome, but like as a steel type, it doesn't really provide, in my opinion. But prove me wrong, please. I love Aggron, but
Scarf Aggron time.
Aggron's awesome, but when you're like, it kind of appreciates being on the offensive a little bit more when it's your only steel type that has to come into attacks. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
it's
tough.
more so. It's more so that Mega Man Nectric is now the only flying resist if you don't bring Aggron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like if you're looking at a flying resist, like if you pair the flying type with a ground or fighting coverage move, suddenly your entire team is getting hit decently hard. You're gonna have a tough time switching into that stuff.
Wishy-Washy's broken though for 5. That's a good pick. For sure.
Yeah, shows.
I think Chinchino is really nice.
Mhm. There's even like decent like setup threat too, like turret always has the ability to turret and Aggron always have the ability to go for rock polish or shell smash and start trying to clean stuff. And Shaman's got like sword stance, which is pretty
Shell
underrated.
Smash sweep with this one
Mhm.
too, please.
Yeah.
I would
mean, it's-
love to see Turtonator just become kill leader.
I just like a ton of like super fast, strong threats with a decent enough backbone to support them. Pretty straightforward to me.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, number 8 is MacDaddy. I will say, I think just like the raw like wall breaking power is like really there between Blaziken and like Rhyperior and like Galarian Molt gets nasty plot too, right?
Yep.
Yep,
But
it
it doesn't get
does.
roost, which
Doesn't get
makes no
roost,
sense.
yeah.
It
no
doesn't
sense,
need
does it?
roost. It's so strong. It
Mhm.
sweeps
And
your entire team.
it's so strong and it's so it's like bulky enough to come into a ton of stuff too. Like Rock's weakness sucks, but you can still get it in with those gigantic defensive stats. 125 special defense is enormous.
I also love the Rhyperior. It's like one of my favorite mons, period, anytime. So, especially in low tier, it's so fucking powerful. You don't have a swap for it. And it's like
Licky,
really
licky.
strong
Really nice.
defensive as well. Like, this mon
Mhm.
always gets a kill every game, usually. So, it's so strong.
You
Love
get
it.
it in clean, it's killing something.
X.
I think
I'd say
Licky is really nice.
Licky
Yeah, I
Licky
think
is nice support too. Yeah.
I feel like spikes with Quillfish really allow Blaziken and Ribombi to pick up the kills much faster, which is really nice. Like I like the
Yeah.
offensive concept with it.
Mhm.
I do really like Licky Licky as well. I feel like that mon has the potential to wall pretty much anything non-fighting type, which is great. The only issue is like the fighting resist. It's kind of like Ribombi, not ideal. Quillfish, if you know, X coverage, it gets chipped down over time pretty fast, and then you're kind of in a pickle. But other than that, team really clean. I like it.
Yeah, if you play fast enough, it's really solid. I think.
Yep.
I will say my main complaint with it is that your only stealth rocker is Rhyperior, and when you want your Rhyperior to be punching a hole in something or rocking, it kind of gets a little bit awkward having to pick between one or the others. But that's my main complaint. I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, that's a fair one. That's a good complaint.
All right. On to the next one. It's my team.
Your team.
All right, you guys can talk about it. I don't want to rate my own.
I like this
Alright.
team. Really, really nice. I think starting out Meloetta was very smart, and then going Embor.
Mhm.
Mola is amazing support. Electros, no weaknesses, very, very good. Rotom
Yeah,
Frost
I agree.
is like extremely slept on in my opinion too.
Yeah,
Ground
it
type
really
in
is.
Mudsdale, really, really cool.
To me, it
Get
just
my
to me it just lacked the like. It does have power behind it, but I feel like you never want to switch Amber in, right? You always bring it in after something dies or with a pivoting move. And I feel like if the pivoting is working, then team really will do well. But if the pivoting is just relying on Electros usually, then I don't know how. Like Electros can get stuff in for free for sure, but like it also is like one of those mons you bringing often, so it gets worn down really fast. And
Yeah.
if
Very
Electros
much
dies,
so.
then I don't know how you really bringing all those very threatening mons like Tauros, Rodent Frost, Meloetta. Like it's gonna be hard.
Another problem I have with the team, like I can see it myself, is that like there's no like super big speed tier. Like Tauros is great,
It's slow.
but
I'm
like
sorry.
having another like fast mon would be appreciated. If I could find it somewhere, maybe I will. It'd be good to have another one, but as of right now, it's on the slower side. So that's a
It
pretty notable
is.
weakness too.
It has no grounded poison too, which I really like. But I mean, like, it seems like it's gonna be fine without it.
I think having access to the soaking up T spikes, it's nice to have, especially for like a bulkier core like mine. You don't want to get torn apart by them.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, cool.
All right. Next one, number 6, Geek. I thought it was a really good team personally. I valued the fast pivoting and the breaking power of Sigilif a lot. But there are definitely some pretty notable flaws. You guys have anything to bring up?
Again, it's slow.
Yeah. I mean, well, Jolteon Zygarde.
Jolteon is really fast.
Sigilif
Zygarde
even.
is.
Sigilif Primate.
Yeah, but then everything else is Primate. I mean, this thing's not taking a hit.
Mhm.
Murkrow, not taking a hit.
Mhm.
I think Primate as like your fighting type just isn't good in general.
I think team is really solid.
Yeah, I mean, I like the team a lot. It's at number 6 for a good reason. I wanted to rank it higher, but yeah. I mean,
I feel
I
like
think
the issue this team will have is that kind of wants to bring more than 6 months every week.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
he does have options for pretty much every issue you can run into, but I don't think he has like the slots to fill all these things. Like if you want something fast, has to bring Jolteon. If he wants to bring something that's special, kind of has to bring Sigilif because everything else is kind of physical reliant. He wants to set rocks, has to bring Regis too. But like in general, like team coming together well, but I feel like it always lacks that one thing you also want on the team, and that's making this team prone to something in some way. And you know, if he builds it right, I think he can do really well. But
Yep.
if he like basically gets the wrong 6, then I feel like team gonna struggle, kind of fall apart.
I think that's a good point. It also feels like
Yep.
you kind of have to bring like Wigglytuff and Registeel like every match because like Registeel is gonna like you want your Registeel to take all those big hits and then it's gonna get worn down, so you need to support it or just let it die.
Yeah, I think Registeel's a really nice steal
I
though.
think Registeel's really great. Yeah.
Pichichi was fucking awesome.
Mhm.
Great mom.
Then you'll always want like Blastoise to get like those pivot like switch and get those pivots off. So
Yeah, I'm really hyped for Serena too. I think Serena is a very good pick.
Serena's really good too. It's really
Serena's
strong.
really cool.
Something like everyone will want to use like the rapid spin set, but it's like a great breaker in its own right. So
Mhm.
a lot of big threats on this team.
For
All
sure.
right, on to the next one. GCS's team here. I really like. I think this is besides one of the higher picks. I think this is probably like one of the best like very offensive teams. I mean, like Mega Glalie on its own already almost carries
Mega
stuff.
Glalie alone, it's gonna be terrifying to handle.
And it went far down in the draft. It was like pick like 10 or something, wasn't it? Something ridiculous.
No,
It was
I
pick
later.
think it was
16.
To
yeah,
16, yeah.
I
it was
don't know how
weird.
this mon made it to 16.
Such a good Pokemon that was just kind of passed up on, but GCS grabbed it, and I think he has like really solid tools to help support Mega Glalie.
Raytheon's amazing. Rapidash Galar's slept on. It's such a good mon.
he can just place it like so straightforward to me and like be so effective, right? Like something as simple as just Uxie turn 1 rocks, you turn into Glalie, suddenly you're threatening.
Yeah.
Just like right off the bat, right? Like you're just immediately threatening whatever is in front of you, and it's so hard to stop that. You
And
got
then if you need, you have like an ice type explosion. I mean,
yeah. I think even to me like a big part of it is like even the defensive Pokemon have like pretty good offensive presence to contribute. Like
Yep.
Rhydon's like actually has a ridiculous attack stat for something so bulky. It's like 130.
Drapion.
Yeah, Drapion's solid, has pretty solid coverage. Empoleon's not weak. You can bring it offensively and it will perform. Virizion a good setup threat. And of course you got like Rotom, which can fill a bunch of different roles. And some decent bulk too, like Altaria, Virizion, and Empoleon are not like squishy mons.
No.
My main problem with it, I don't know what you think about it, Frosty, though, is that a lot of the Pokemon, like your main immediate wall breaker is going to be like Glalie or Rhydon, which are great to have. But Pokemon, like for such an offensive team, Pokemon like Drapion and Virizion and Altaria, if you want to bring that offensively, they're kind of like offensively lackluster to start, right? Like Virizion's so weak, Drapion's not much better. And Altaria's got
one
base
air
enemies.
slash from that Virizzion's probably dead. You know, a Surf, well, probably not a Surf, but a Scald, and that Rhydon's dead. My thing is, this team's gonna perform really well, especially due to the coach, but it has a few flaws.
Yeah, definitely has flaws for sure.
Evan,
But
you
I,
self-respect.
yeah, what I like, I made some trade transactions during the draft. I had Salazzle, which was great speed, which I definitely lost due to the transactions. Like speed overall, it's there. Like it's like I don't have a slow team, but I don't really have something really fast, which is bothering me. And I feel like the pivoting to bring Megaglady in is also lackluster. So I have to pull some awkward switches at times to bring it in. But other than that, I feel like I covered a lot of the top threats decently well, and overall synergy is definitely there. It's a easy to pilot team, but yeah, I kind of think yeah, it's kind of straightforward in a way too. You're right.
I think that's a good aspect. Like it can backfire, but like when you just know what buttons to click, it can, and you have a good matchup, it just performs so well to me.
It performs.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Next.
Unless you guys got any other points, on to number 4.
Yeah, no, we can move on.
All right. Gloxinia's team. I really like this team.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you just get like you can so reliably switch into things with like Jellicent, Mesprit, Torterra, Florges, and even things like Scrafty, Matang, and Kabutops. You got that bulk, but nothing on the team is like a blob. Nothing on the team is gonna like sit there and do nothing. Even Florges can like set Calm Mind or just attack, which I think is important to have. Just not be too passive.
I think team is really awesome.
Tiers are really weird. That was like my main thing I had about it. You know, 126 to 115, then down to 80 just seemed really weird to me.
It would be nice to have a base 90 here. I agree.
Yeah.
But
that's definitely fair.
But I think he has enough like he has enough safety nets and like priority to get around that in a way, and like bulk. Like between like Ambipom and Talonflame and Kabutops and Matang, which I guess Matang a little bit less so, but they all have like priority to handle like dangerous attackers that need to be covered, and then you've got the bulk in other places. I think you have the ability to play around things, even if it's a bit slower.
Yep.
I think the bulk is just phenomenal. All these mons are just like super good and cover a lot of the main and common top tier threats. I feel like in general the team has a lot of different ways you can execute it. It's tough to break. It definitely packs a punch. really good disruptors. The setup and win cons are not always very clear, but I think you can definitely create them. The biggest flaw would definitely be the speed and the breaker to be relatively slow. Like Ampharos Mega is definitely not one of the faster things. Budopt is not one of the faster things, and Mesprit, if you want to use it as breaker, would lose you the defensive utility it gives. So that's kind of the issue there for me. But other than that, sick team.
All right. Pretty quick. All right, on to number 3. We got Simi or Chris's team.
Where is your logo, Chris?
Where is it? Come on. I mean, I think it's just like again another just straightforward bring in something strong and click your button. But the threats that you bring in are just so powerful and so individually competent that you can get away with such a straightforward playstyle. Like if you get in Tyrantrum or Pangoro cleanly, it's just chances are something's dropping, and that threat is like really, really dangerous to prepare for to me.
Yep.
And he's got the pivots too, like Lantern. It's one of the most reliable pivots to get in on special Pokemon and Volt out.
Gligar is a pain.
Yeah. Gligar's just so annoying to take out, and it has that ability to get something in if it wants to.
Pangoro will kill everything in its path.
Yeah, I feel like
Magmortar too.
Yeah, Magmortar.
Chris did such a good job in realizing that ground and fighting types just run the meta in low tier, and he has like the best counters to them with Weezingale and Gligar. First, I was like, he's gonna lack in offensive pressure, but never mind. He picked up like every strong, powerful breaker you can think of, and like some really fast and strong hard hitters to Insider and Espeon. Really broken in my eyes. I also enjoy him having the Clank for 1 point because it's one of his favorite low tier mons. He just brings in casual leagues as well. So I think he's definitely don't sleep on the Clank. I think Chris definitely has a super broken team. It's so strong.
The team does struggle with like longevity in like those longer games, but he just has like such like the immediate threats to just break through it, right? Like he doesn't need to play the longer game, because if he can like continuously just get Pangoro and Tyrantrum and Magmortar in over and over and over, he's not going to need to play past a certain number of turns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other thoughts? That's all.
Not really.
All right, on to number 2, SammmyCEs. This is probably like my favorite team of the draft. I liked it a lot. And I think that just comes down to like how well it facilitates Heracross. You got so many ways to get it in. You got tons of support for it too, and each of the mons are like really solid in their own right. Like Bronzong's one of the best steals in the format. And you got just like really bulky and strong mons everywhere else too.
I think the team is just super well rounded. Every mon you have drafted is very viable and brings something to the team, which I really like. I feel like it also it does have a clear main star in Heracross, and Noivern also probably do pretty well on this team. Like there's no clear
main star.
Yeah, but there's like no clear top 6 that comes, right? Because everything is so viable, which is making this team unpredictable. That really gives it a boost to me. I do think that the speed drop from Noivern towards Tentacruel is like not ideal. I mean Emolga, but like Emolga and Tentacruel often don't. Emolga is too passive to provide offense, and Tentacruel would probably run more defensive looking at this team and the ice resist, but it could be offensive too, I guess.
I just think it's like generally flexible enough to handle that. The main weakness to me is just how like wish reliant it is. Like all of the defensive Pokemon are reliant on, besides the Molga, are like reliant on like wish in some capacity. which can be taken advantage of. But that's a pretty minor weakness to me. I think it's pretty great all around.
Yep, for sure.
Any thoughts, Frosty? Or?
Nope, just about everything y'all said, to be honest.
Yeah, looks great. All right, and the number
All
one
right,
team.
I think it rounds it up. I think we got everyone. No need to go over Fade's team because that's just a waste of time. This
That's
team's
true,
fucking
that's true.
busted.
Yeah.
Holy
Biggest
fucking
waste
shit!
of time we'd have.
There
I
is
mean,
like,
he just got
how do you
everything.
how do you even approach this in your matchup? You're like, what the fuck? I
He
can't
also
defensively
chose
check it.
Sammy's team. I mean,
How
he
can
chose.
how can you defend versus such a team? You can't. How can you offense versus Hail Arctazol? You can't. Breloom speed priority to fail is so fucking stupid. I absolutely hate it. I don't want to play it. Fuck that.
I want to play. At least, do you play it this season?
Nope.
Lucky you.
Finals GCS versus Fates.
I dodged this shit, bro. Fuck this. I'm not doing this.
Such a good team.
Something I
It's so busted.
really like about it is that like it's like so offensive, right? But
Yep.
like the types just work so well together,
Yeah.
and like each Pokemon like has like solid enough defensive utility that it's not an offensive team that just immediately folds. It kind of struggles in longevity a bit, but like every Pokemon, like you're not like sacking things left and right to get things in. Like you can get Charizard in on so many moves, you can get Breloom in on so many moves. That like gives it like a level of like flexibility and like immediate threat that's really good.
Yeah.
I do think the removal was pretty bad though. That's the
Mhm.
only thing I don't like about it. It's kind of just Skuntank Fortress. I don't think
yeah.
Default Charizard really comes to games, but maybe I'm wrong.
You don't want to have to run it.
I can't wait
Exactly.
to watch him run default Charizard next week now.
He can, but like feel like you could get more out of your Charizard than defogging.
I feel like it's a waste of a move slot.
Exactly. Also, stop running Blizzard's Arctazol. Fucking dumbass.
You know where just want to take that full peek, I guess. I mean, like in my opinion, like the only notable weakness is that it just kind of lacks in longevity. Like if you play a longer game, like you're gonna struggle to come in over and over again. But like Breloom, Zard, Arctazol, they're just so immediately threatening.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Realistically, this team is never gonna have a long end game. I feel like
it's kind of like Simi's team, where like you're like sure you can win in the long run, but you're probably not going to just because it's so fast.
You're gonna have so many problems fighting this team that I mean, everyone's gonna come look at this team and be like, "All right, I'm bringing a meme this week."
Yeah, for real. I really think this team is super solid, for sure. The only issue, the only other issue might be that your flying resist is kind of like Soul Rock, because Arctazol is like your offensive thing, right? So you play a strong flying type that would also like kind of cover the Mach Punch speed control, then that could be very threatening versus you. But that's just a small thing, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sounds like you guys got it covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like it if you like it and subscribe for more. Good job, guys. That was great.
All right. Thanks for having us on, Fate. Later.